Hey there, welcome back to Manotick StringWorks. Glad to have you here. Please remember to like and subscribe for more video content. So today on the bench we have a 2010 made in Mexico Fender Telecaster in a nice metallic blue. Hey, look what my wife got me. A brand new hoodie with Manotick StringWorks on it. Looks good. So we'll just have a closer look at this nice Telecaster. Bridge with 6 saddles, love that. Standard Telecaster controls, 3-way switch, volume and tone. Nothing new there. A little stiff though. There's the neck pickup. That's really low. You can tell right off the bat. Nice maple fingerboard. Classic headstock. 1-string tree. Made in Mexico, 2010. Fender tuners, Fender branded tuners. Skunk stripe, and there's a few little dings on the back. Unbranded neck plate. Easily change that. And string through setup and the Telecaster jack on the side. So as usual, we'll start with the neck relief. Like to see between 10 and 12 thousandths at the 7th fret. And this guitar is pretty good. It's right about 10 thousandths, so we'll see after we change the strings if we have to do any adjustment. And then the action at the 1st fret. So between 18 and 20 is nice. This guitar is set up pretty low. Still touching the 18, so could be about 16 thousandths, but no buzzing, so looks good. Check the string height at the 17th fret, and it is definitely lower than 5/64. The E string, the 6th string's a little higher, but the rest of them are touching, so we'll just do a quick adjustment on that at the end. So like I showed you quickly before, that neck pickup is really too high. The strings are touching. If you were to fret down there, you would definitely be touching the pickup. So we'll adjust that at the end. So I like to check the electronics when a guitar comes in, make sure everything's working okay. A little scratchy, so I'll probably spray them with some contact cleaner. Do a little tap test, and I'm noticing something's a little funny here. The switch is actually backwards, so that should be both pickups, which it is. That should be the neck, but it's actually the bridge. So we're gonna switch that around. So I'll see if there's enough wire here to just flip it around, and fortunately there is. So that was a relatively easy job. Just made sure nothing came loose, but everything was fine. So we'll switch that switch around. Oh, before I do that, I'm going to spray the pots with the contact cleaner. And once you spray it, just twist around the knobs, 20, 30 times. There we go. No static. That's good. And I'll just get the switch too while I was at it. There we go. Now everything's working the way it normally should. Now if the client wants to revert back because they're used to it the other way, well, it's easy enough to do. So when I was looking at the strings and starting to take them off, I noticed that they were really poorly done. And as I got to the D and G and the B and the E, you can see there's hardly any wraps, or it's a twisted wrap around something. So that's not the way your guitar should be strung, and it's certainly not a way that's going to help it keep in tune. So we'll fix that. Alright, so let's get those strings off. I like to use a driver. You can use a manual string remover. This is faster, of course. You can use your fingers. That would take you a while. See, there's that one that was wrapped around there. I had to cut it off. Probably having tuning instability, tuning issues, so they wrapped it around, tucked it under, did all kinds of weird things. I just snip the strings. It's easier that way than pulling them all the way through. And just give them a little push. Don't poke your fingers though. I've done that many times on the B and the E string. Alright, give it a fretboard a quick clean. This is a finished neck, so we're just going to clean it. We're not going to condition it. Any sort of mild detergent, soap and water, whatever you like to use, go ahead. Just get some of the surface grime, and you should do that, you know, every time you change your strings or every couple of times. I'll use the fret erasers here to clean up the frets, give them a light polish. So start with the 150 grit, clean up in between, use the 180 next. I do about 10-12 strokes, I guess, per fret. Of course, I went all the way down the fretboard. It's not showing in the video, but I did. And that's the 400, and then we'll finish up here with the 1000. These do a great job. Quick and easy. It's a great way to clean the frets. It does give them a light polish too. Fret polishing is a different job completely. So I just noticed the tuners were a little loose, and that's normal this time of year. The wood shrinks as it dries out in the low humidity. So it's good to tighten them up while we have the strings off. Although the nice slim wrench there from StewMac does a good job with the strings on there as well. So it had 9s on it, so we're going to put 9s on it again. These are my go-to strings. I think a lot of people use D'Addario, of course. I keep these in stock in 9s and 10s in my shop. So string through body, pull them up and out, and we'll get up to the tuners, the headstock. I like to push through, and 2 or 3 tuners. Certainly on the 6 string, you might only need like 1.5 inches or 2 tuners at the most, depending on the height of the post. So you might have to back it out again and do it again, cut it back. So check it, and you just keep going. Now here we're going to make sure that, especially on the plain strings, that we have at least 4 or 5 wraps around the post. You need that to create the proper tension, upwards tension on the string, as the part of the string that went through the post, so you can maintain your tuning stability. So after we do that, we're going to tune it up to pitch. Every action we do now, we have to make sure we tune it to pitch before we do any adjustments. And we'll stretch the strings. That's very important, because that just means they break in a lot faster, and they will keep their tuning stability, or they'll get to their stable tuning quicker, than just trying to play for a week or two and then wondering why your guitar is always out of tune. So just to show you, I tuned it up and then I stretched the strings. So look, we are consistently about a half step detuned on each string. So stretching the strings is important to do. So if you ever wondered why you do it, there you go. Yeah, so pretty much a half step detuned on every string. Now you can stretch them again too, and then retune. Nothing wrong with that. But usually I do one good stretching, and that seems to do the trick. Alright, this is the next day now. I like to leave it overnight if I can. And let's check the neck relief. Of course, I've retuned, and the neck relief is right around 10 thousandths, so that's really nice. you know, you can get it as low as you can without any string buzz, right? And it usually depends on how hard you play the guitar too. And I'll use my string gauge to adjust the height of the strings to 4/64 at the 17th fret. That seems to be a good height, you know, a good starting point for a low action. I wouldn't go lower than 4 really. And 5, if you're a little more aggressive player, you might want 5, certainly on the 5th and 6th strings. So using a 1.5 millimeter hex driver there, able just to raise the saddles up and make sure they're nice and even too. Both sides of the saddles, both of the set screws are the same height. And I'll just double check with a ruler, a graduated ruler, so 4/64, everything's good. So that's the height under the string, so between the fret and the underside of the string, right? And just intonation, I'm just going to double check that. So you open string, you can do the harmonic at the 12th fret and then a fretted note at the 12th. So they're pretty good. Really is just the 1st and 2nd string, the E and the B, they were a little flat. So I will I'll move the saddles back. So lengthening the string, and so lengthening would make it flatter, right? So we want to shorten the string to sharpen it a little bit. So there we go. So that's better. So we're going to do the E string now. Tune up. That's pretty good. So again, intonation's a relative thing, right? You're trying to get as close as you can. So the nut action is pretty low. It's right about 18 thousandths at the 1st fret. And that's nice. And we'll leave it there. The G string was just a little lower than the others, but I'm not going to mess around with that. Try and lower everything else. And then you get into the realm of maybe looking at a new nut at some point. But there was no open strumming buzzing going on, so I'm okay with that. Now, as we've seen before on this guitar, that pickup is way too high, so we need to drop that down. So I like to start with 1/8 of an inch on the bass side, 3/32 on the treble side, so that's the height from the underside of the string to the top of the pickup. In this case, it's a pickup cover. If it's an exposed pole piece, then it's the top of the pole piece. So just back and forth, 3/32 on the treble, 1/8 on the bass. We'll do that for the neck. And we'll do that for the bridge pickup as well. Same measurements. So again, these are starting points, so try it at this height. And if you find you don't have enough signal or you have too much signal, your tone's different, whatever, just, you know, drop them down. Just don't bring them up, the pickups too high, because you will affect how the string resonates due to the magnetic field of the pickup. Not to mention you might actually, you know, bash the string into the pickup, which you don't want to do. Alright, so now I'm just checking all the notes, fretting them, see if there's any buzz anywhere. I couldn't feel any like this, and then I'll pick the guitar up and do it in the playing position. And again, no obvious buzzing anywhere. So 4/64 seems to work well with this guitar. That's good. Alright, we're all done with this nice Telecaster. Do love Telecasters, are the workhorses of the music industry. I think every guitar player should have one in their collection and use it regularly. So thanks again for watching. I enjoy making these videos. Please like and subscribe. And we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye for now.